Hello, people. We are back. A2TP podcast, episode 165. It's your boy, International Walt.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-host with the most.
Energy up,
Did
energy
you forget who you
up.
were?
No, I just had a little stutter step right there. A little stutter step. Energy up, people. We are back for another episode of Us. You ever had your shit pushed all the way in? We had your shit pushed all the way in.
Okay.
We are back for another episode of Us, and
we're here. We're good.
We're here. We're
Where
good.
Where can they find us?
They can find us on A2TPodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Pod Index, Pod Addict, Pod Chaser, Player FM, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. You dropped my thing. What's wrong with you, man?
You don't know about her by now?
I'm just saying, though. Like
Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio.
And all the episodes is on there, so go check us out. But we on there.
We on there.
Get right to it. How are you?
I'm doing okay today.
Just okay?
Yeah, just okay. Probably. You ever have a feeling like, and I hesitate in saying this because my husband worries about me so much. So I'm telling you.
Because I know something bothering her. It'll come out, but I know something bothering her.
I told you what it was. Like me just thinking about my grandpa. That's it.
Right.
But you ever feel like you want to get a good cry out? And I don't necessarily have anything to cry about, but it's like it's almost like a release if you do cry.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
I've kind of cut those down because I work out every day.
Right.
So I do relieve some stress.
I miss my stress relief today.
Yeah, I do relieve stress every day, but but I do understand wanting to
you kind of feel filled
just
emotional,
up.
Yeah. And everything. Like I read my note, my eyes watered a little bit. My mom, said that she missed me yesterday. That made me. It's not just today. That made me feel a little choky. Like and maybe I just need to decompress.
Take a bath and cry in the tub.
But I don't want to just cry just to be by myself. Cry because I'm not sad necessarily, but mentally I'm probably
be thankful to God and cry.
I'm probably like an 8.5. Talked about it a couple weeks ago. My pop, he's aging and he's going through some health things, and it's a little scary to think. It's one of the things that we know, and I'm not putting this out there because he is still alive. He may not be doing well, but he's still alive. But it's one of the things that we know for sure is certain in life is death. But it is like the hardest thing to accept.
That's secondary for me. It's like one of the scariest fucking things. It really is. And you don't think about that kind of shit when you're young, but as you get older, and nothing don't have to happen to you. It's not even about that. I mean, that just exacerbates the feeling, but yeah, it's
well, I'm not even talking about it from a first person. I'm talking about other people dying. Oh, yeah.
It's like one of the scariest things ever to think about. Like, that shit can really, really, really depress you. And I'm speaking for me. If I think about, like, my wife passing or me passing or me being here alone in life, like, my mind can go about...
I can get a good cry.
I can go, like, how a week would go in this house with me alone. I could think about a week alone with her after me passing. Like, that shit can... really fuck with your mental. It really can.
Yeah. So I mean, that's work is work, and we didn't get to there yet. But nothing is wrong per se. So that's the only reason why I said I'm probably like an 8.5 because it's weighing on me a little bit. But I'm trusting God, and I'm trusting God to have him and to have me, and that's that. Work, financially a 9. We're all good, made some moves, excited, and it is what it is. We got to get, we got our books that we got to get on track with too.
Oh yeah.
Work is
it's
a 9.
It's crazy how time and technology and evolution, because it's like, not that we do it on purpose, but it's like we be having less like cash, like green.
Right, which is
Like
a
it's
good
not in your
thing
hand a
to
lot.
stash. Like
Yeah.
we're doing better saving electronically, but we don't have the physical cash to
Yeah,
stash
like it's
away.
not in your hand a lot nowadays. And I wonder if it's like that for everybody.
Yeah, do y'all like use less cash? And I've been seeing more and more people talk about not using debit cards. So I mean, I know before it was like a couple people would give insight into that world of relying on credit, which makes sense in theory. But I think a lot of people, because of the history of credit and not wanting to ruin your credit score and all that stuff, and not having financial responsibility, have been afraid. But it makes sense when you really think about it.
Because you have to live for what it is, and this is the society we live in, where you have high credit scores and you have high credit cards amounts. Like you're able to move around and do stuff. So
well, not only that, it's a matter of, if you have cash on hand, why not use credit, use the other people's money, and then pay it back?
Yeah.
Like I
didn't get to that yet, but yeah.
Because everybody might not have a high credit score, but even if you have a low credit score, start with that and work your way up.
No, I'm saying for the people who live in that credit world of, I don't use debit cards, I only use credit cards, I don't use cash, I only use credit cards, because of the fact that I'm going to get a better credit score. They're going to keep giving me more money and everything will be fine. As long as I pay on time, I'm good.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a matter of keep your money in your pocket, use their money, and just pay it back, as needed, which it makes sense. And the benefits and things that you get from credit cards, like it is it takes adjustment, especially coming from our culture and community, because a lot of us don't have that financial literacy. We think of credit cards as getting in debt, which it is a debt, but life revolves around debt. We buy a car, we're in debt. We buy a house, we're in debt.
For the society we live in, that's the way of life. That's the way of life that people live in. Mm-hmm. But don't get it twisted. It absolutely is the government acting like the mafia. Like, people would rather be juiced instead of having $1,000 and spending it when you have it. Like, I'm only gonna spend $1,000 if I got $1,000. But people would rather be juiced and say, okay, here's $1,000, just give me $10 a month. And people are okay with that, no matter if I'll take 20 years to pay this back. But that's the way our society works.
But I think people are becoming smarter than that. Whereas people, you have people, $10 might be the amount that's due, but I'm gonna pay $100 so I can. People who have that financial literacy, so that they can take a step ahead, because that is just working against yourself. Because at some point, you spending $1,000, you only paying 10 back. It's going to take you forever. You're not going to be able to utilize the credit. The key is to keep credit. So I think people are moving smarter than that. Whereas, if your bill is $150 due, you pay $400. It, keeps a more revolving door, because you have that cash, because you haven't spent it. So you can pay that $400 because you haven't been spending it.
But it's no different from getting a $50,000 loan from a loan shark, and the principal is tacked onto the VIG if you late. It's no different. I'll be passed every Sunday, and it's like you get a little something every Sunday, and you keep your credit line open.
Yeah, but there are benefits that come
because
with it.
They can give you points back now because it's regulated.
Yeah.
The mob couldn't do that. A loan shark couldn't do that.
And like I've seen people that they take trips, and it's like, we just had to pay for the hotel because my flight was covered by my credit card points, or vice versa. We had to just buy the flights because Hilton accepted these credit card points, so it paid for the hotel. We just had to buy flights. We stayed for free.
That's a good topic, probably in a future a show. What's your work looking like?
Work is probably a 9. Just busy right now, and as I'm preparing for some time off, sporadic time off, and then we'll be preparing, for some a long period of time off, or a few consecutive days. So it's busy when you got to kind of make sure you're getting things aligned. But it's a 9. Physically, I'm probably feeling like a 9 today. My back is bothering me a little, and I missed the gym because of work. And the gym has become like you said, my source of a stress reliever. Even when I don't feel stressed, like in a negative way, but it helps relieve whatever tension is there.
This is the part where people who work out every day, and it's like, I didn't know this going in, but you know, you start to, when people say, I got that runner's high or exercise high, but this is the part where it becomes lifestyle and you don't even know it. Because when you don't go, you cranky, or you might feel a little edgy or something like that. It's because it's a part of your lifestyle now. It's like, damn, I didn't even like
I didn't
really
get that
intend
dose.
yeah, I didn't do that, but I didn't get my dose today, and look how I feel. I feel a little off.
Not to mention the dreariness of the weather and blah. So yeah, so I think I'm
not saying you wouldn't be upset about your grandpa, but if you would have went to the gym today and exerted some energy, maybe you would feel like a 9 instead of an 8.5.
Possibly. So 8.5, and the rest is 9s across the board.
Cool.
How are you?
Mentally, I feel like a solid 9. I was really productive today at work, so
that's always good.
And towards the second half of the day, it was all phone stuff. So answered a ton of emails, a ton of RFIs, and for people who don't know out there, that's requests for information. But a lot of y'all
you told them last time.
Just for people who don't know. But a lot of y'all work in the corporate world, so you do know. So yeah, I just felt real productive today. The rain, the dreariness, the traffic drive. Nobody knows how to drive in the rain. And it's just brutal. Something that can take 20 minutes can end up taking an hour, and it just drains your energy. Finances is a solid 10. God's always blessing us. Any chance I get a chance to, I bless my baby. Any chance she get a chance to do so, she blesses us. So yeah, we're grateful. Work is a solid 9. Like I said, I was super productive today. Took a lot off my plate. Physically, I'm a solid 10. I feel good. Nothing hurts. Had an easy workout today. Didn't exert myself too much. I think that be the problem sometimes, going hard every day. So I just toned it back a little bit. Plus, my baby wasn't there, and I missed her, to be honest with you. I didn't have nobody to train. So it was like, you know. So, yeah, a solid 10 for my physicality.
When can I submit some training requests? Like, I missed the elliptical. I want to get in the groove of the Stairmaster.
Get to that. The Stairmaster might be the last thing.
I know, but I want to challenge
I want to go back to the rower, but you fucked your back up last time you did that.
Well, so you could do some rowing, I could do some elliptical.
We don't act like we do the same thing.
No, but we've been on a tread. After our cardio, everything else switches up, and I love that.
We can't go back to the cardio sometime though.
Yeah, we've been on the treadmill for like the last 2 months.
Yeah, the treadmill can get a little old, but I like the treadmill because it's like I clock the 4 songs I have to listen to get through the time, and when those 4 songs are over, it's like, when that last song is coming on, it's like, oh my God, this thing's about to be over. If I listen to any other playlist, I end up listening to like 6 or so songs because they're time different. So it's like, it throws me off. It's like 4 songs and get off this motherfucker.
The treadmill is just so, which it is what it is. It's so monotonous to me. It drives me crazy. I feel like I'm on
without holding on?
You told me I want to, but you told me not to because of my back. Yeah, you said it messes up your alignment.
It does, because my point was, did you see the girl in front of us yesterday that was walking, the short girl? And she was walking with no hands, but she was like doing all this movement, and then she started grabbing her back.
Oh, okay.
It was like, I was about to say, like, look at this girl.
Yeah, the treadmill makes me feel like a hamster on a hamster wheel. It's like this thing, like, this is the song that never ends.
What are you listening to?
It just goes on and on, my friend.
What are you listening to?
Some
the
people
gym music?
Started singing and not knowing what it was.
What is that from?
And they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that never.
What is that from?
Lamb Chops.
Oh, I was about to say, what is that, a movie?
Yeah, I listen to a variety of stuff. It depends on my mood. To be honest, a lot of times I listen to gospel, which I don't need. I use the music as a distraction from what I'm doing. My energy is already there. Sometimes the gospel songs get my energy up more than like a hype song. And I'm trying to veer away from a lot of secular music. And I ain't no saint. I'm still going to listen to Beyonce or whatever I want to when I want. But I try to veer away from that a lot. Like, I can't get into, I like Carisha. Y'all see my real bad hat. I can't listen to City Girls. I can't. Yeah, I can't listen to Cardi. I can't listen
Nah.
to Meg Thee Stallion. I do like Watch the Throne.
You
So I
gotta
kind
go.
of go
That's
back
what I'm
and
saying. You
forth.
gotta go to your old school stuff that resonates with you, but it's hype. And then when the cool down comes, or when you get close to that, that's when you throw the gospel on. Cause that's I'm telling you, the music gives yourself a tempo. And when you put the gospel on at cardio, you're not like geared up to do that.
It gets me hyped up.
Really?
It does. It does. Certain songs like
Me listening to gospel is more.
I be wanting to put my hands up on the treadmill.
No, don't get me wrong. Certain songs of Marvin Sapp,
I listen to
Tasha Cobbs, certain
99%
songs
of the
that
time.
come on can get you hyped, but majority of them kind of makes me drift into a, damn, I'm so thankful, and like, damn, like then it's like I'm about to cry and shit. Like I feel just like I was toned down from.
It brings me more into like a praise and worship mindset. So I'm like hype.
So you must have a playlist of consecutive like upbeat gospel songs. Because what if some Freddie Hammond or something pop on and it's like real funeral-ish? It's like, come on, man. This ain't treadmill songs.
Yes, I mean, for me, I use the music as a distraction more so than, but I do, you're right, like some songs do get me more hyped than others because of the tempo. So like when I'm doing something, but sometimes it's just the words, like I'm getting ready for overflow.
Yeah, overflow, yeah.
Yeah, like
you
that.
You ain't never treadmill to Shirley Caesar.
Maybe not. No.
You can't elliptical to Shirley Caesar.
Yeah, but like the elliptical, I think too, because it's more, I don't know, more of your body moving. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And I'm not saying
I have been thinking about it lately. I ain't gonna lie to you because the treadmill has been like wearing on me. So
and yesterday my headphones were dead.
We'll be extremely happy.
Yeah, my headphones were dead, so I only had the gym music. So I really was looking at the treadmill like. I look at the thing, we do 5 laps, and then when it gets to the 6th lap, we do about a quarter of a lap. We do 1.32 miles. That's so, and I try not to watch the screen, but in my mind. I seen a dude
on my left with his hoodie over the screen like you did before.
Yeah, I changed.
I was like, oh, that shit real.
Yeah, like because you will feel like, oh my God, that was 3 minutes, and you looked up and it was 45 seconds.
That's why for me it's 4 songs. When 4 songs go off, it's time to get off this fucking belt.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
But the Stairmaster, so I'm part of a group that my girlfriend Annette started on it's an all women workout group on Facebook, and this one lady, she does the Stairmaster for like 45. So she mixes up cardio and weight training, but sometimes she's like, I just wanted to focus on cardio today. I did 60 minutes on the Stairmaster. And I'm like, how? And she was telling me, she said, you got to start in small increments.
Yeah.
Do 5 minutes every day for a week, and then it'll feel better. Then increase it to 10.
Yeah, but that's the same thing they tell you on the treadmill or lifting weights. Do a little bit at a time, and it'll build up. It builds up over a long period of time than a week. And on that Stairmaster, one thing you got to have is perfect form. You can't be really bent over because that shit'll hurt your back. Like, you got to have strong thighs. Like, it's a workout.
I want to get to...
Where did we go on there? We was like 5 minutes?
5 minutes. That was it. It was done. But we never went back.
Yeah, it was on like, not even like a fast speed, like 1 or 2 or something like that.
But I want to get better at that, because I think that is, now I know we do a mix of cardio and weights, that is like a full body, your thighs and your butt, like that. And is
the cardio in that, like your heart's ready to jump out your chest. We're like 158, 160 on that thing.
Yeah, but I want to get better.
Wows and woes, stops and goes, ups and downs, blacks and whites. Give it to me.
My wow, I'll say I had some great quality time with one of my great friends, Jade, and her daughter, my niecey Pooh Navy. We went to the flower show this week, and it was really good. I almost feel like.
To go today.
Yeah, you didn't tell me. You didn't take me.
I was gonna go by myself, but
you wasn't gonna take me.
No, you had went Sunday.
But I can go again. I kind of feel like I want to go, like on the last day. At like 2 hours before they close when it's empty. Like I want like a special preview session. It was so crowded. Towards the end when we were getting ready to leave, the crowd kind of, dissipated a little bit. But it was so crowded, and I didn't really get a chance to fully indulge and see it. Like I got some great footage It was beautiful. It smelled amazing. And that's another thing. It was so crowded. I didn't start smelling the flowers until we were almost leaving. I feel like the people were blocking my nose. Yeah. You start, and then the old people and stuff that's there. But so that was a while. Just being able to get out, spend some quality time.
Bengay and BO and, perfume and cologne in the air. So the flowers are, yeah.
It was
I've never been. I wish I could. I went to Longwood Gardens in school.
I've never been there.
Full of flowers there, but I couldn't appreciate it then. And I don't know if they had the abundance of flowers that the flower show has. I couldn't tell what the fuck I was looking at. I was in like 6th grade. But I would like to go to the flower show. I like flowers.
I'll take you.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'll take you. But yeah, so that was my wow. My woe is, just getting the news that, again, my grandpapa's not doing well. He is in his 80s. I can't think right now. 1939 to this year, so he'll be 85 this year, I believe. And you see some grandparents. My baby was blessed to have his grandmother almost to 100. One of my I have an aunt who she'll be 101 this year. So it's like, but I lost my grandma when she was 60.
I was ready to say you got to give both perspectives. Some people never even grew up with their grandparents. Some people, their grandma died, when they was real young. So it's just a blessing.
Yeah, it's a blessing. But that it's one of those things, and it's weird because I felt like I didn't initially feel sad when no, that's a lie. I felt sad when I, heard about him like declining a few weeks ago, but I felt like, what, I feel good in my heart with our relationship, and I still feel good, but I just feel a little bit sadder because it's I don't know if it's like becoming more of a realization, like he may not be here through the rest of this year. And I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. Of course, I know I'm going to be sad. I don't know how sad I'm going to be. You never know if something can be completely devastating to you, or if I'm going to feel like, what, he was old. What do you expect? It's like you really don't know how you're going to deal with death. Of course, if it's somebody that's young, that's unexpected, that's going to be devastating.
Your system's kind of shocked.
Yeah, but it's like one of them things, and this may sound a little bit selfish, but it's a little scary for myself because I'm like, oh my God, like I don't know how I'm going to feel, and I don't want to be in a bad place. I don't want to be, and thank God we have tools and resources and therapy and all that. But it's like, no, like I don't want to go there. I don't want to feel that. But but me and my grandpapa have always had a great relationship. When I was growing up, like we my grandpa was quiet. He did, he went to work. He took care of his family. Then when he couldn't work any longer, he was around the house. He used to always wake me up for college when I stayed at his house, or wake me up for work. Like he was about handling your business. Like you got somewhere to be, you got something to do.
Go to work.
Like go to work.
School, whatever the fuck you got to do.
Yeah, he was about handling
get up and go.
And he always let me know he was proud of me. So that's like a little woe of just accepting. I'm getting older, so he's getting older. Like that's a part of life.
Yeah.
What about you? You got some moves?
My wow is that we just got some scheduled time off coming up. Yeah, we're gonna be, just alone and chilling and relaxing. Back outside. So just leave it at that. Yeah. My woe is just that Grandpa Jimmy is in a bad state, and I sympathize with you, my grandmother and all that kind of stuff. So I'm here for you. I'm here with you. He was a cool dude. Pissed behind my toilet before. But, he cool dude. I ain't gonna get too much on him. But yeah, he, just like she described him, he always was to me seemed like a stern, and I don't want to talk about him in the past tense, but he was a stern about your business type, of guy. And yeah, so I always had good interaction with him. I sat with him and watched some football, ate some Thanksgivings with him. So I appreciate what he means to you, and I'm here for you, and I'm here with you.
I love you and thank you. And, he was part of that generation where old people, like, he would come in the room, you done got a little thick. He was like, hey girl, I see you. You better stop eating. You be like, pop,
What are you,
like
Asian? You ain't got no social
yeah, he be like,
awareness.
oh look at you. You better stop eating them burgers like that, girl. You better
That's
you
how it
better
was
slow
for
down.
our first interaction with Asian people. They would say like, "Oh, you're fat." Like, what? You can't say that shit to people.
Yeah,
Why you
Papa
fat?
Papa will let you know. Or he'd be like, oh, I see you, girl. You looking good. Like, if you dressed up, you looking good. He'd be like, come here, let me look at you. You looking good, girl. Like, well, that's my guy. That's my guy. Yeah.
We in the news. Well, not in the news, but in the world. There's a thing going on now called surge pricing. I don't know if just like we get these new terms that come out that we never heard of. Surge pricing. So inflation and the way things are going up. Restaurants, Wendy's, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. I don't know if Chick-fil-A might participate in this, but fast food places, the TGI Fridays, and all the stores like that want to start a surge pricing thing where a number two at McDonald's is $7, but if McDonald's is busy, a number two is $9.
Oh wow.
So according to how busy the store is, prices go up. Pizza Hut, Domino's, if you call and pizza was $10 for a large, okay, they tell you on the phone the store is real busy now and that pizza's $15.
That's kind of like how Lyft and Uber does, depending
Yes,
on rush hour or something.
this is where they get the format from.
Yeah. I think it's BS because that's subjective. Like, so what dictates busy or not? You know what I mean? Like Lyft and Uber, you kind of know, you kind of have an idea if you're out on a Friday night and 6 o'clock you want to call an Uber, you expect the prices to be a little spiked.
And location, yeah,
location. So you expect it. Now, if you're calling an Uber at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, it's a little different. You expect to pay a little less.
Right, you're not at peak hours.
Right, when you talk about a restaurant, peak hours, so that means on a Tuesday, I'm just throwing this out there, now lunchtime you can say between 11:30 and 2.
Oh, I was gonna say 3, but okay.
Maybe prices may be spiked, but no other time during the day. But then you can think about a Friday when people are not only getting takeout for lunch, they may be fast food for lunch. They may be going to Chick-fil-A or whatever restaurants for dinner in some cases. So now you're talking about lunchtime 11 to 2. Then you still talking about 5 to 9. So on Fridays, food is more expensive. And then is this cost or is this additional revenue trickling down to the employees? Do they get surge pay?
No, I don't probably think they get surge pay because it's probably a lot more delivery guys, but they probably going to run them to the mill. And probably not a lot more employees because a lot of things are computerized and people order online.
But I'm talking about, okay, let's say you said a Domino's. So if it's surge pricing because you ordering a pizza,
yeah, like saying
at 7 o'clock on a Friday when other people are ordering pizzas, so I'm paying more for this pizza. The worker is making the pizza. They're not making more money during that time. So that's, if anything,
I think it's a benefit for the store to say, hey, look, we're really busy in here running around, we're making a bunch of pizzas, you got to pay more. We're working harder. I don't know. Like, that's how I saw it. I didn't take it as we're going to take this money and give it to our employees and deliver.
Yeah, I'm sure not. But that's a shame.
Doing a good job for us.
That it's a shame. They should. A part of that. So basically, it's almost like, look, to me, it sounds like they're trying to, which sounds crazy, deter business by increasing the prices, or it's like, okay, we're really busy right now, so we're going to charge you more, or you just not order right now, which is crazy. Like, why even put up a barrier to potentially risk losing that customer?
Don't know. And I don't know what the benefit of the restaurant would be more money.
Them just making more money.
Yeah, I don't see how it benefits the customer at all. To Tuesday night, my wife don't feel like cooking, we get a pizza and it's $10 for a large. Friday night, she wants a white pizza. I go around there, it's
$14.
It's
Yeah.
like, I just bought this Tuesday for $10. Oh yeah, we busy.
It's Friday
right
and we busy. If
like,
anything,
where does that, and
give
where
me a
does,
deal because you get more
yeah,
business
like
right
where
now.
does it stop at? At what stores? That's just like low level restaurants. But can a gas station do that?
Well,
Like what the fuck does it
not
stop
only
at?
that, it made me think: could a sit down restaurant do that? You go to a restaurant on a Tuesday night. You know, we have a nice little dinner, and it's $85. But that same exact meal we order on a Friday night
Is
now it's going
$120?
to be. Yeah,
That's out of pocket.
yeah, that's crazy. If anything, if restaurants, what they have typically done during with the happy hour, they give deals. Like, okay, this is a kind of time when people are getting off work, they coming in to grab a bite to eat, grab a couple drinks, whatever they want to do. We got some deals and specials to bring in more, and they're at a discounted price. Not the prices are higher.
I don't see why it was accepted at the Uber and Lyft level. It should have been an outcry then, because now it's like, something that you accepted to pay for, now they're going to keep pushing. Like, they should have been like, hell no, we're not going to pay. Like, the taxi cabs never had that. You got in a cab my whole life, it started at $1.50.
Yeah,
that's it. Wasn't no surge shit.
It didn't matter what time.
Yeah, it
their
wasn't no surge
prices ranged based on the number of people. Sometimes it would be like an additional 30 cents.
Right.
And of course it was by distance, but it wasn't a matter of, oh well, you're calling a cab at 5 p.m. so it costs more than if you would have called this at 2.
Yeah, that's.
But the thing with Uber and Lyft is people became so dependent on it. Like, we've been in that situation where we're out in New York City or something like that, and I would kind of toggle back and forth, and I noticed okay, let's wait a couple minutes. It might drop a couple dollars or something,
And it does. From half hour to hour.
But
or
you
so.
get to the point where you need it, and they know that so many people begin relying on it. That's why they could do that. Mm-hmm. Even with Uber and Lyft, some people have their preference. To me, I find that Lyft is always cheaper than Uber, but there are some people that will still go with Uber for whatever reason. It's just like people having their choice of Sunoco versus
or Pizza Hut and Domino's.
Right. Like, some people just have their brand loyalty. Where, for us, it's about the dollars. But, I think that's why Uber and Lyft was able to do it, because it kind of became a necessity. It's funny that you say that, right? I'm sorry, I don't want to change the subject if we were still talking about that.
No, we can go ahead.
So, we know, like, the violence and stuff that has been going on in the city of Philadelphia, particularly violence that has been occurring on SEPTA buses. Within this week, 2 people have been killed in 2 separate incidents.
I saw that on the news. I didn't read the stories, but I saw the headlines.
So a couple days ago, there was a shooting. A couple people got shot. One person died. An innocent bystander, a 70-year-old lady, was shot in the head. Yep. And then a 50-year-old, I think it was another lady, got shot. They weren't life-threatening injuries, but nevertheless, they were shot. And then then yesterday or the day before, some people bum rushed a bus, shot and killed the guy, and he was targeted. So you're talking about 2 killings. This one guy was saying that he's like, it costs a lot more, but I take Lyft back and forth to work instead of the bus. So when you think about the economic factor that crime is causing on the community, like, that is insane. Again, Lyft knows that they are going to become Lyft, Uber, whomever, those car share services.
Means of transportation.
Right, because the cities just aren't safe.
Even for people with cars, because it's like, I can not park my car and not lose my parking spot, not pay for parking, and just jump in an Uber and get door-to-door service.
I can save on gas, I can save on parking, especially like if I work in Center City
and
or something.
And it who knows where it might work out for you with a couple shekels, or it might just be a little bit more you have to pay for your safety. Yeah. Like, so
And that's what the gentleman said. He was like, can you really put a price on safety? Can you put a price on your life? I'm going to pay to catch a Lyft to work rather than catch these buses where you never know what's going to happen. These people this guy, I think he was 17, they said, was on the bus. The bus stopped. These people go to get on, they shoot up the bus, they kill him.
Nobody going to work.
But it's like you can you imagine the anxiety of riding the and in every corner that it stops at, you looking like,
can you imagine being on the bus, somebody being murdered on the bus, y'all on the bus, dude sitting in a chair dead, y'all got to sit there and talk to the cops, and then the next day you got to get on the bus.
No, I can't.
Like, the next day I got to get back on this bus.
I can't imagine. And And part of the problem with this, and talking to one of my really good friends, her job is, reinforcing working at the office starting in April. And I had these conversations, or seen people having these conversations on social media and so forth, about just the inconvenience of having worked from home for 4 years, and some people, the issue with now having to find childcare or aftercare services because it's the middle of the school year. If you're used to your kid just coming home from school, you're not going to be there. Now you got to find some place for them to go.
Right.
But I never, and just because I'm not in that scenario, I never thought about the safety factor until she said, and she's going to catch the regional rail, but she was like, I'm afraid to have to get on public transportation.
I think it's always been dangerous, but it was accepted back then. But even when we was catching the buses, babe, the buses was dangerous, the sub was dangerous, the L was dangerous. It always
we heard about fights and stuff that would break out
fights,
on buses.
stabbings, but guns wasn't readily available
exactly
then.
I cannot recall hearing 2 killings in a week, and that's just this week. I don't know what the murder rate has been since the beginning of the year or in the last 12 months.
And it's social media, just like it was a period where it was like for a year, like 12 buses crash, like they had accidents. Like it's just, we're seeing more of that shit. Like, but their buses, I mean, they are dangerous, and ops be on buses like they say, and you can see somebody clearly get on the bus, and then you can run up on the bus. And the Uber, you don't know who is in what car.
And I think a couple days ago, the shooting, it wasn't like an opposite. Like somebody got into an argument and somebody had a gun on them.
Yeah,
but it's like you just never know. But I
so
never
you got a
thought
gun
about
on you going to work with the gun, like on the bus with the gun.
Who knows? Who knows where
you don't know who
going?
You sitting down next to. If you sitting down next to somebody who's strapped, who got a mental problem, who got on the bus to start some shit, who won it, who did some crazy shit to somebody and everybody out. You don't know who you sitting next to.
But the sad part is, we know, like I saw a story on the news a while ago where the Center City Business District, I don't know exactly what they're called, but the organization that coordinates all the business goings-ons in Center City, Philadelphia, they were offering businesses like incentives of some kind to have their employees come back to work, so people could shop and eat lunch and all that stuff in Center City to drive revenue. And then now we have the mayor of Philadelphia who's saying, she thinks everybody needs to be back in the office. Does she not realize like the crime that's happening, the lives that are being put in danger?
She's responsible for it.
And who knows where
you might be saving money by staying at home, not driving to work, and then they want you to come back to work. There may be some negotiation for people who want to go back to work, like, hey, pay for my Ubers, pay for my Lyft.
But when you're talking about huge corporations, I know a lot of people that work at Independence Blue Cross.
You would be able to speak to that more. Is that feasible? That's not going to happen. Shit like that.
There are some companies where there's a company that I used to work for where they provided they provided transportation. You could either get a monthly trans pass or monthly parking. Now I'm talking about almost 20 years ago. I don't know if now that company, they work from home, so they're remote. But I don't know if other companies have since transitioned. Like there's certain companies where you can get what they call a transit check, to use. But if the company just doesn't have that type of benefit, I don't know what the options are. Now, can you talk to people? Can people get a petition together? Possibly, but who knows if that's going to come to fruition when you talk about companies with thousands of employees. Are they willing to take on that cost?
Right.
I think what would work, and I'm not suggesting people do this because I know who can risk losing their job. If people don't show up to the office and you say, nah, we not coming back to the office, we don't feel safe, what they gonna do, fire everybody? I think that is the kind of movement that would work. But unfortunately, too many of us, including myself, aren't in a position to boycott in that manner to risk losing your job.
But the fact is, when you say that, it sounds weird, but the answer to that question is yes, they can fire everybody. Like, humans with jobs are replaceable. No matter what go on, a corporation that has millions or billions of dollars, you're not bigger than them. So you can take a stand and have everybody say we're going to stay home, and they'll put something in place that will run their business until they get everybody out of there and bring in new people that want jobs.
Well, what I'm saying is they're not going to be able to fire everybody at one time.
No, they won't be able to fire the whole office building on Tuesday.
What I'm saying.
No.
That's what I'm saying. There is no business continuity plan that would allow them to fire everybody in one fell swoop.
No.
What they would have to do is to sneakily hire people in all of these positions, and once they're in place, then let them go. But I don't even think companies are willing to take that on. And it's a shame that people would have to go to that measure in order to just want to be safe. I'm not saying I don't want to do my job. I'm not saying that I don't want to do my very best. And even like one of my friends, she was saying, this means if I'm in the office, I'm clocking out at 5 o'clock on the dot. I'm not answering another email. I'm not staying on a little bit later like I would at home. So essentially my productivity is going to be decreased. So you're going to be losing out.
This is high level government and local government control. They want to get people back at work to drive the economy. That's all this is about. So people can be outside eating lunch back in restaurants, having business meetings in restaurants, eating dinner, going to happy hour. All that shit is to drive the economy. That's the only reason why. Because studies show that people are more productive at home.
Yeah.
Like over these past 3-4 years, people are more productive at home without the distraction of traffic and bus and worrying about this and food and all this kind of shit and phone calls.
And taking a break.
Yeah.
And going to the
without
coffee
worrying
machine.
about all of that shit, people are more productive.
Breaks.
Some people take 8, 9, 10 cigarette breaks a day.
Yeah.
Like that could be 50 minutes, but you don't get that when people work at home. They get their job done and that's it. But y'all want to drive the economy and send people back outside like, COVID is really over, RSV is really over, like all this shit's really over. And, I don't want to get on my conspiracy shit, but who knows if the fucking clouds, the balloons that they was floating around, it got COVID in them and they bust and shit all over everybody. Like, who knows? There's a lot of them balloons, they go away, they don't talk about them no more, they don't like say shit about them. But who knows? Yeah, it could be fucking the new COVID in there and then all over everybody once it rains because it's in the clouds.
I don't like how you say all over everybody. Sounds like you're ejaculating COVID on us.
No, I'm not ejaculating at all. Age gap relationships. What do you think about age gap relationships? 57-year-old man, 28-year-old woman. 57-year-old woman, 28-year-old man. Like, at what age, what number do you think it should be a number on age gap relationships? Or you think at a certain age, it just don't matter? As long as you're over 21, you're good.
I mean, it don't matter because it ain't my business. But I do think it is
It's our business for the sake of the conversation.
I know, but I'm saying, over 21, technically, yes, you're legal.
Yeah, we're only talking about over 21.
Right, but it's still, if you're 45 and you're dating a 22-year-old, I'm looking at you with a side eye. Like, you can be her dad.
So
you can be his mom.
Okay, so at what age, I'm not sorry to cut you off. At what age do you allow a man to like young girls? And I don't mean that in a derogatory.
Young women.
Young women. So that's how I mean that. I didn't mean to say that like young girls. But at what age do you allow a man to just like young women? When does it get like it's creepy?
I think it's creepy if...
Can you be 30 years old and like a 22-year-old?
No, I don't think that's a big age gap. That's 8 years. I think, first of all, when you're talking about in your 20s, I think anything over... I'm going to say anything over the 30s.
So this is the better question. At what age should you not be looking at a 22-year-old?
Over your from 40 and up.
40 and up.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say
40 and up, you should not be looking at a 21-year-old. Anything under 40, you can date a 21-year-old.
I mean, yeah.
And it don't look creepy is what I'm saying.
It doesn't look creepy. It looks like, you just... It makes the man look worse, I think, because you got to think to yourself, if you're 38 and she's 22, what do y'all really have in common? What is your conversation like? Granted, I know there are some mature 22-year-olds and there are some immature 38-year-olds. So maybe y'all meet somewhere close in the middle as far as your maturity and your level of conversation. But overall, a 38-year-old man probably shouldn't have much conversation or much in common with a 22-year-old. Now, you take that same...
Neither here nor there. I'm just saying, do women give grace to men who like younger women. So that's what I'm saying. That, like, or do y'all as women say if you like younger women, that's just creepy? Like somebody your age.
I don't think it's creepy. Again, I think that's how women look at it. Like, you just looking for a young girl. I don't think many women look at it like you're going to take her serious. Now, it's not looked upon as wrong because she's legal.
Is it looked at like you're trying to mind fuck this girl because you might know more or have more life experience than her? That's what I'm saying. Like, is there a grace for men to be like, okay, he just like young women?
Yeah,
or
but
is it like, no, he's always got an agenda. He's always he's gonna try to control her. He knows.
I don't even think it's so much control. I think it's looked at as being immature. Like, or you just want something young and cute to hang on your arm, not necessarily
like a trophy wife or something.
Possibly not necessarily to control her, because she may control you, or she may be a gold digger, and that's what you allow. So I don't think it's looked at as controlling. It's looked at more as immature. Now, again, that same age gap, 22 to 38, that's 16 years. It looks different at 30 to 46.
Right.
It looks different at 40 to 56. So you can have that same age gap, but I think at
a certain age it don't matter.
Right, it doesn't matter.
What if you 85 and you dating a 42-year-old?
Well, now the younger one is looked at as crazy because, like, what do you have in common with an 85-year-old? The 85-year-old is going to be happy at anything that smile at it, but and they're not
69.
It's kind of still. I mean that's.
I mean, you kind of like still 69 ain't
it
old.
It depends on the 69-year-old too, but in that case, it's probably the 40-year-old, or what do you say, 40?
45.
The 45-year-old. Okay, that's 24 years. That's a big gap, but you know, maybe y'all met and y'all fell in love.
She's old enough to have some life experience, be able to hold a conversation with a 70-year-old man. It ain't like he's a monk or something so wise that she can't talk to him.
Right. Now, but you got to think about his virility at 69 and you 45. Like, is he standing up?
See Alice and Viagra.
If you were a single man, what is the oldest woman that you would date?
At my
you're 46. What would the oldest be?
The oldest woman I would date would probably be 55.
Okay. I'm 43. The oldest I would date would be 60.
Yeah.
I figure, you know, that, I mean, because 60 ain't the 60 of what we, you know, grew up.
But 60 is 60 though, babe.
But 60 doesn't have to be like, you know.
All right, I'm just saying 60 is 60. 55 was the cutoff for me. 60 is 60. Like.
So you only give a 9-year gap?
Yeah. Well, I would say a decade. I would go a decade.
I would give like 15 years.
If she was 56, I wouldn't be like, all right, you cut off because you ain't 55. Like, a decade is okay.
So I'm 43. I would say I feel the same, like 15 years, so 58. But, you know, if they 59, 60, I wouldn't be. Now, what would be the youngest that you would date?
At 46, 40.
Okay.
I wouldn't date anybody in their 30s. At 46, you would have to be 40 and up.
I would say for me, the youngest would be like 45. Like, I wouldn't date anybody younger.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't think and it's not like my business if you were single, but I don't think you should, if you're 42, you shouldn't date anybody younger than you as a woman.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, you shouldn't, because it's a whole different conversation, but yeah, you shouldn't date anybody younger than you. You should date somebody your age or older.
Well, share. I mean, what's the logic behind that?
I just think women are more mature than men. And if you're 42 years old, you're much more mature than a 36-year-old man.
Okay.
Like, you still won't be like, nigga, why you coming in here at 2:30 in the morning? Or why you, like, ain't...
So you're just saying in general, of course, because you may have some that are... So, I mean, I feel like that. Like, again, I would not date anyone. I mean, and you just made the cut. Like, you know, I'm saying you're 46, I'm 43.
It didn't start at that. It started at 19 and... 24. 24.
Well, no, yeah, we always had like a 3.5 year.
Okay.
Because you'll be 47 this year. So 19, you was 23. So I'm just saying that 4 years, like, I would prefer if you was like 1 or 2 years older.
I'll fucking burn your eyes. Don't play with me.
I'm just saying. If you would be, I'm sorry, if you could be an expert at anything, what would it be?
Now I probably would say something lame. I mean, if I could do anything, like probably something medical, like a heart surgeon or some shit.
And that, okay.
Like,
See, I
would
wasn't.
like to do something like that is way out my comfort zone and box, and something that, you know, takes some people 20 years to do. But to cut someone's chest open and do it and save them, or transport a heart the way you're supposed to, and they live, and it's like, I did that. I'm sure that shit is super gratifying. Super gratifying. To the point where, I mean, you do so many of them, I'm sure doctors get desensitized either way, when people die and when another person comes in crying saying, I love you, saved my life. It's like, you're the sixth one this week. Like, this is what I do. So yeah, if I could be an expert, it would be something in the medical field, like heart surgery.
I think for me, I immediately think of two things. One, psychologist. I would want to be an expert at, it sounds weird to say, but like at feelings and emotions and trauma, and like I would just want to be an expert of the mind, if I can say that.
Too much to wear, babe. Sitting down talking to people, you got to go talk to somebody.
I'm not saying I would necessarily want to talk to people. I would just want to, and I think...
Well, what you going to do with your gift? You got to help people.
I think I have a good read on people. Sometimes I'm by no means an expert, but, you know, we know people who can sit in the corner and watch the room, and they're able to, you know, they can tell what people are, not necessarily what they're dealing with. They can kind of read people, for lack of better words. I think in some cases when I deal with people, I can tell, like, you know, who's emotionally insecure, who's intimidated by people. And again, I'm no expert, but I'm always right.
She has been right. Not always, but you have been right a lot of times. Real quick.
But wait, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't want to forget. You just said you're real good at reading people. So real fast before we get into the grams, have you ever thought you read somebody and was wrong? Or you ever thought a person was good and they was fucking horrible? And you was like, damn, I just didn't see that. Like, I thought this person was cool, good, but they're fucking insensitive, they're ignorant, they're like all the things that I didn't think they were. Like, I got a wrong read on them. Anybody, girl, guy,
I guess friend. A long time ago, I think I probably did, like, and because I'm not going to say like I go into a situation I can automatically, you know, kind of read people, but there have been some people that I allowed myself to befriend and then realize like, I don't like them. Right. Like, I don't like their character. I don't like the cut of their jib. Like, I don't like their, and some of it too had to do with my own personal evolution and growth, where it was like, you know, certain things about a person may have always been there and I didn't mind, or I ignored it. But then as I grew, it was like, I don't like that you're like that. Like, I know you've always been like that. Now I realize I don't like it, and I don't, I don't want to be around it. The second thing I was thinking that I would want to be an expert, I would, if I was a Bible scholar. Like, I am not in any way, shape, like not even a teeny tiny bit, but I would love to have that knowledge. And not necessarily to share or do. I will never debate anybody when it comes to the Bible, because one, I'm not skilled to do so, and one, I don't feel the need to do so. But I would love to have that knowledge for myself.
Those are two things I would totally stay away from.
The mind and the Bible.
Yes. Like, and real quick, because we're about to get into the grams, this is what I was reading and was taught. Well, it was something that I learned, information. Christianity changed when everybody had access to the Bible. Okay. There used to be an experience in church where only one person had the Bible and one person was speaking the word of God to you. And it was an experience you had in church because you didn't know. And what you was hearing, you held real sacred because it was coming from the preacher or whatever, whoever was in the pulpit. But then when everybody was able to get access to the Bible, it started a bunch of different interpretations of what people really believe, and not the one thing that they was hearing.
I can see how that's fitting.
So I just wanted to put that. Maybe we can talk about that in the future.
Can we go to one question? No, I wanted to ask you. This is kind of a rewind a little bit when we talked about the dating and the age gap. If you were dating, just really quickly, if you can, 3 top questions, what would you ask the person? Like, if you were on a, you know, if you found somebody, and I'm not talking about necessarily.
Let's make that a gram, because that was one of the gram questions. So,
right.
Brand one would be to spin off of if I was single and dating, what would be questions I ask, or just three?
Like, yeah, give me three top questions you would ask. And I'm not saying a first
Um,
date. My like if you've been talking to somebody and it's like, oh, okay, I
I'm
think
about
they,
to ask them some intimate stuff, and I
yeah,
feel like I can.
or I think this person is worth getting to know.
I would want to know. Well, obviously, I would know if you're single or not, or just like fake single. Um, I would want to know. Um, have you ever been 302?
Okay.
What STDs have you ever had?
Okay.
And what would be one more? Let me see.
I think that's pretty interesting. You named two that I didn't even think of, but what would be the third?
I'm trying to think of what the third would be. Oh, if you ever had an abortion.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm cool with any of the answers, but those would just be some. If I felt like I knew you, like I would, ask. Like, because I'm saying if I felt like I wanted to get to know you, then I feel like I would ask you anything, and I wouldn't judge you off any answer that you said. I just want to know the answer to the question.
Okay.
If you said I had the clap and gonorrhea before when I was 15 and 27, they'd be like, oh shit, yeah, I had that too. Cool. Like, I wouldn't be like, ew, bitch, I don't want you no more. No, so it ain't that. And if you was like, well, yeah, like, these girls jumped me and when I in school and I beat the shit out of 6 girls and they 302'd me. All right, cool. But at least you told me, you didn't say, and we didn't go to the hospital sometime when you sick and they like, yeah, she 302'd. It's like, now I'm finding out.
Right. So I think I would want to know, what's your relationship like with God? That I would definitely have to know. I would want to know, I mean, of course, me dating a man, I would want to know, have you ever engaged in any romantic activities with other men?
And
like
DL shit.
Yeah. Or, I mean, maybe not DL. There are some bisexual men out here who date men and date women. I would just want to know, has there ever been, and I'm not necessarily even talking about sexually, like, have you been on a date, romantic? Have you liked one? Have you
dick.
Well, that's sexually. I said not necessarily. It doesn't even have to go that far for me to not want to participate. Okay. So I would just want to know, was there ever any interest?
Does honesty give any grace?
To
be like, yeah, me and my homie was in college and we, this and this and that. We was about to, but we didn't. But just be honest with you.
No, I mean, I appreciate the honesty because, I mean, you could lie and I would never know, but I don't think I would feel comfortable with moving forward in that situation. Yeah, because
I sure shouldn't.
Yeah, and I just would feel like nothing against it, if you're bisexual and you date both sexes, but for me, I don't think I would want to engage. I just don't, I just wouldn't want to engage. And I think the third would be, one, if they had children, what is their relationship like with their children? Yeah, and if they didn't have children, then what is their relationship like with their parents?
What does that have to do with anything?
It's
almost like saying one of them things like if a man is everything according to how his relationship is with his mother. Well, it's like one of those things. Like, what if you got, like, let's be honest here. What if you got shitty kids? What if something happened in life where you just don't have that relationship with your kid? What if you didn't raise your kid? What if you was in jail and you just don't have the relationship that a person who was there from day one to end to the present day has with a kid who you've been around sporadically for years? Like, I
would just want to know. Now that in of itself, that the answer to that question is in black and white. So it would probably generate more conversation. But if it's like, yeah, I got a couple kids, but, and I'm just throwing this out there, but, my girl, she moved to,
Tennessee
and I don't really talk to them. And then it's like, I got a problem with that.
Right.
Like, did she cut off contact or have you tried to initiate contact? But if you're just acceptedly a deadbeat, I'm not. I have a problem with that because you can't be you scared me. I didn't know what that noise was. You can't be chasing me and not chasing your kids. So I would have a problem with that.
Back that up. That's bars.
Yeah. Like
Drop
you,
that
yeah,
again.
you can't be chasing me and not chasing your kids.
Ooh.
No, this is a situation where maybe, you know, your kids are grown and they've chosen not to have a relationship with you, or there's some other factors in play. But I just would have to ask that, because I'm going to be looking at you side eye if you're a deadbeat. Like, I'm not even going to be looking at you side eye. I'm not going to be able to proceed with this relationship and like knowing you just got kids in the world that you don't care about.
Fucking married, so hypothetically.
We said if we were single.
Right, put that out there.
You don't want nobody to have a chance. You know, okay. I like this shirt. Can I wear this one day?
It was a gift to me. My baby gave it to me. One of my shorties.
You know, it's funny, and I'm not embarrassed to say this at all, because I don't care what nobody think. You know what? When I buy us clothes, I buy us the same size. And when I said that to my sister Toya, she was like, "Oh, that's decent, because then you can share and wear his stuff." And I was like, "No, he don't let me."
She still got titties. She still got a little bit of hip
He
and
said,
butt.
I put titty marks in his stuff,
Yeah.
so I can't wear his stuff.
My shit all wide in the chest, like my back wide in the side. No.
My back, what you mean your back wide?
You have titties.
But you said
like
your back wide.
No, not back big, back wide, like this way. You're wider this way than I am that way, because you have giant titties.
Next grade.
God forbid, okay, this is funny. You're on a plane. Say we're going on a trip, right? God, knock on wood. God forbid somebody passes on the plane sitting right next to you. And we're about to land in 20 minutes. But you know, if you say something that this person's not breathing, dead, we're going to have to land at an alternate airport. We're not going on our vacation. Everybody going to have to get on another plane. Do you sit next to the body for 20 minutes and land and let them find out? Or do you say something immediately when you find out?
Do I know for sure that this person is dead?
Yeah, like you nudging me like, babe, he was breathing in the beginning and now he's not. Like he did.
No,
like,
my conscience.
Know.
I'm going to have
But it's like, ding, we'll be landing in 15 minutes.
No,
like,
I would have to say something
now
because
for them to be like,
a...
we have to turn at an alternate airport, land now. Everybody got to get on another plane. And
what
then
if they could give him CPR and bring him back to life?
What if he's dead?
Well, I'm asleep on the plane. So if I wake up and he's dead, he's probably been dead for a while.
And
if
we
he's
land
like
in
cold,
about 30 minutes to an hour. Do you say something to the stewardess that this man has passed? Or do you say, I'm going to land, me and my baby going on our trip, and they're going to find out when he don't get up that he passed?
No, I think I would have to say something. I think my conscience wouldn't let me. First of all, I don't want to sit next to the dead body.
You've been sitting next to him.
But
You've been sleeping next to him. You've been
dead.
really comfortable next to the dead guy.
Now that I know, I'm going to be a little freaked out. Would you switch and let me? You always had a window. Would you switch and let me have a window?
20 more minutes, yep. 20 more minutes.
I think I would freak out a little bit. And you know what? I could see myself like not wanting to cause hysteria. So I would probably call the stewardess and be like, just to let you know, he passed away. Like, I probably wouldn't be like, oh my God, he's dead. Because I know people are going to panic. So I probably will whisper like, he's not alive anymore. And then let them take it from there.
It's a hypothetical situation, people. That's why we're laughing. We're not laughing at dead people.
Oh, I'm definitely not laughing at anybody dying at all. But yeah, in that situation, I probably would.
So in no circumstance would you not say nothing and just land and let us go on our trip. You would actually say something, and everybody gonna be like, "Oh shit, this lady said this guy passed." Everybody coming over, they gotta.
Well, we still gonna go on our trip. They're gonna have to put us on another plane. We just gonna be a little late. We're just going to be a little late. We're not going to be selfish. We're going to be a little bit late. Okay. We want his family to be able, you know.
I think I would say something too. I was just trying to get you to say no.
I think my conscience and me being freaked out would have to say something. Like, now, if I'm sitting next to a person, they hold my hand like, you know, I'm about to take my last breath. I just want you to hold my hand. But don't tell nobody because I don't want to be resuscitated. You know, I might, you know, be the person that...
Really? I'll be like, come get this motherfucker.
What if they...
I'm not your DNR, bro.
They don't want to... They just want to go peaceful.
Their
wish, their dying wish was to die on an airplane.
Nah. You don't put that shit on me.
And they just want to hold your hand and take it out.
I'm sorry, but I'm the one that
Soar.
interrupt that.
They up here with the Angels. They just want to soar.
Live, and I don't need that shit on my conscience that I held some dude's hand and let him die on a plane.
It might be the best thing you could have done for him.
The best thing I could do is give you life, bro. This ain't that bad. It's not that bad. You on a plane. You obviously going somewhere. Okay. It's not that bad.
All right.
Last Graham, LeBron James has scored 40,000 points in the NBA. People need to let that set in. I don't think...
Tell me the significance.
The significance of it is for somebody to break that record, you would have to average 25 points, play all 82 games for 20 straight years to average, to end up
So that's the most anybody ever scored?
Ever in NBA history.
Wow.
He passed Kareem at 38,800 last year. And this year he hit 40,000 points.
And he's still playing.
Yeah, like that's an unbelievable feat. And, you know, I still think Michael Jordan is the best player ever. And I love Kobe Bryant for number 2. So I think LeBron is number 3. But his achievements, his accolades, coming into the league at 18 years old, he exceeded expectations. And to be 40,000 points, like that's a record that nobody will ever break because the minimum games all-stars play now is 60, 65 games. So to come in and play all 82 games, average 25 for 20 years, like that's insane.
Wow.
That's insane.
How many more years you think he got under his
Probably
belt?
3 to 5.
So you think he might hit 50,000 in his career?
No, he might do 45 though. He might, because he scores like 1,800 points a year. So he, you know, with 3 to 5 more years, it'd be close to he can hit 45,000.
Okay.
So yeah, but just shout out to LeBron. Watched his whole career, just like I saw Kobe's and Mike's. And it's been an honor to see these dudes play since 18 years old, and he almost 40. Like that's crazy. Like, and you know, I always watch LeBron, and he's a hell of a basketball player. So shout out to LeBron for 40,000 points in the NBA. That is a hell of a feat, and real basketball people out there know that. Like 40,000 points is insane in the league. And what you would have to do to break that record is insane. Is insane. Like Michael Jordan, the best ball player ever, had like 32,000 points. Kobe Bryant had like 34,000 points. Like LeBron has 40,000. Like it's crazy. Like that's a huge deal for basketball people. So shouts out to LeBron. And that's it. Let's do a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 165 coming to a close. Your boy International Walk.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
Facebook, Act 2 the podcast, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Player FM, iHeartRadio, and Apple fucking Podcasts. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.
You forgot to throw it to me so I can give a good message.